A public health warning after a number of overdoses in New Haven County.
It comes right as cities, towns, and first responders and educators are meeting as they try to get a handle on Connecticut's opioid crisis.
Channel 3 New Haven Bureau Chief Matt McFarland has our story tonight.
9 suspected overdoses, one of them fatal, all of them happening in New Haven County in the past few days. And it comes on the heels of a string of other overdoses in Hartford.
From the pills, it moved on to heroin, moved on to a number of different drugs.
5 years ago, Greg Kimmett lost a son to an overdose, so he knows what families go through while watching a loved one battle addiction.
I was at a loss when my son was facing addiction. It was a 10-year struggle.
In the last few days, we're told there were 8 suspected unintentional overdose-related visits to ERs around New Haven County. We're told most occurred in New Haven and Waterbury, along with one fatal suspected drug overdose in West Haven.
Trying to figure out what kinds of things will help with the epidemic, what needs to get done, who needs to be involved.
Today at Quinnipiac University's law school, dozens of stakeholders were on hand for a summit, sharing strategies and identifying programs to help tackle the opioid crisis.
There's always been heroin overdoses and opioid overdoses. But about 5 years ago, I really started noticing an increasing number.
Peter Canning is the EMS coordinator at UConn John Dempsey Hospital and also a paramedic in Hartford. He says one of the biggest issues, the negative stigma that comes with the opioid epidemic.
And once we are educated and we can end the stigma, then we'll treat them like we treat anybody else, whether they have a heart problem or a lung problem or a victim of trauma.
As for Greg, who shared his story with those in attendance, he wants families to know they're not alone and to ask for help.
My focus, my desire is to be able to reach out and get to people that are in crisis.
While the state health department continues to monitor the recent overdoses, the groups here, they're going to actually have their study and their findings put in a special edition of the Quinnipiac Law Review later this year, so cities and towns, educators and legislators can actually use it as a resource. With the mobile newsroom, Matt McFarland, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.